Hey, hope you're having a fantastic day, and I have so many things to show you. I have a huge book haul. How many books in total? Should be 34 books, I believe. So lots of things going on. We'll talk all about it, but I am super excited about these books. April was my birthday month, so I did get quite a few books for myself, and then I was gifted quite a few as well. And let me just give you some honorable mentions here. First of all, some other just birthday gifts that are like book related that I thought would be fun that you would like and enjoy. I got, well, this is technically not book related, but I got How to Train Your Dragon. I've got Toothless here. I got the Build-A-Bear. I love the Build-A-Bears. I've got like all of the Lord of the Rings. I've got the Harry Potter ones up there. I think I have some Star Wars ones. And so this was really cute. My husband got me this one in little Toothless. So I'm going to have to find a place for him on my bookshelf. It's going to be hard because I have black bookshelves, but I'll find a place for him. But I'm really excited. I'll set him off to the side. And then I also really enjoy Legos. And so I was super excited because I got some book nooks. Oh my God, I'm super excited. So I've got the Balrog from obviously Lord of the Rings. I'm super excited. I'll be building that soon. And let me tell you, this and like the next one I'm going to show you could not come at a better time because I am wanting to, obviously if you see on the shelves, I did ask my husband to put those up because like if I did them myself, I know they'd be crooked and then he'd be really upset. And so I had him put those up there, and I am wanting to completely redo my bookshelves, just kind of reorganize them, get them to a better place, get some of my TBR off these shelves and maybe put them over here. I'm just kind of rearranging some things, right? And so I've got this little book nook, and I'm super excited. The Harry Potter book nook. I know, I'm a fantastic sinner, you don't have to tell me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I am super excited for this one as well. I've been really enjoying Legos the last few years and like slowly building up like my things and like places to put them. That's also another reason why I want to kind of move some of my books around so I could have more room so I can build some more of my Lego sets that I've gotten. But I'm really excited for these to really put in like the details on these are really fun. And again, I enjoy them. I think I like to look at them a lot. So I'm just super excited to be building these soon. But I thought you guys would enjoy that too, even though they're like not books, but like they're book related. I thought it was fun. Anyway, let's get into all of the books that I have. Now, first starting out, this is my most anticipated read of the year. When I tell you my most anticipated read of the year, it is the finishing series of The Bridge Kingdom. Now, I love the original duology of The Bridge Kingdom because this is like technically duologies within the same world, but you have to read them in order because sometimes the events overlap, right? I loved the original Bridge Kingdom. I enjoyed the second set of the duology, the Inadequate Heir and Endless War, I believe is what it's called. I did enjoy that. It was not my favorite, not compared to the first one. And then now in this one, and this is the last and final book, I have not read the book before this to finish the duology. I waited that they could be together so I could read them at the same time. But this follows Anna. So she is the Princess of Ithaca? I believe that's how you pronounce it, Ithaca. And so it was kind of like a trade alliance. She didn't really have a choice in it. But again, she's like a warrior princess, right? Really badass kind of girl. And so she goes to like this other land to go get married to this dude. And I think she ends up falling for his bastard brother. Or I don't know if he's a bastard. I'm pretty sure he's a bastard. But she ends up kind of falling in love with the other brother. So I think kind of chaos ensues. This book series is always really good at explaining like war things. Like there's lots of politics going on with these. And I'm really excited because I really liked Anna as a character. Because again, she's mentioned in a few other scenes in the other books. But you don't really get to know the character at all until you get into like their own duologies. And like this is the final duology. This is the final book. This just came out, I think April 15th or 16th, something in the area. So I pre-ordered that. So I'm super excited. I will be starting this one very soon. But yeah, this is my most anticipated read of the year. And I'm super excited to have this on my list. The next is the Faithful and the Fallen series. Now, I did just read the first book, Malice, in this series a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I was enthralled by it, and I thought it was really fun, so I went ahead and got the next 3 books in the series, or well, I think this is only a 4-book series. Yeah, that sounds right. I think it's just 4 books in the series. Now, this is by John Quinn, and I read one of his other books a few years ago, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I finished the series because life happened, but I remember reading and really enjoying the like the writing style and like the world building. I really enjoyed that. But with this book, it kind of follows along several main characters. It's more of an epic high fantasy. And I will say in the first beginning book in Malice, it is very slow. It is a very slow buildup of a book. You didn't really get going until like the midway point, and then that's where it really took off. And that's where I really like the book. So pretty much what happens in this world is like 1,000 years before something happened, the gods have now disappeared, and the people have like, I don't know if the gods died or if they just disappeared. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, but something happens. The humans now all live in these banished lands. There used to be like lots of trolls and, sorry, not trolls, giants. I don't know why I said trolls. Anyway, there used to be lots of giants, and then now it's been like 1,000 years fast forward. We're in this, and some rhyme or reason, the giants are now back, and they're kind of trying to take over these banished lands where all the humans have been obviously banished to. And they're all living in these, like, the humans live in their own like different clans and different lands. It's a very Scottish and Viking-esque vibes going on, and they do technically have like a high king, but again, that's like from the old world from like 1,000 years ago. They don't necessarily abide by that like law by any means, but weird things are going down. Giants are coming back down. They have these, they call them worms. I think that's what they're called, worms, but I view them more of like big snakes pretty much, but the giants have them, and they breed them, and they're like a bad sign, a bad omen. And so there's lots of things going on, and like it's a broken world. The banished lands are pretty much getting taken over, and it's kind of on these people to kind of like bring them all together. There's a lot of dynamic in this book. I really enjoy the fighting scenes in it. Like, I sometimes have a hard time understanding fighting scenes and like what's going on. Like, a lot of stuff tends to go over my head, right? But with these, it's not like that. The way John Gwynne really writes these makes it easy to understand what's going on and like some of the tactics. And of course, there was some fighting in the first book, and I'm assuming, obviously, with the thickness of these books, there's going to be a lot more fighting going on and persisting through the series. So I'm super excited for that now that I can like understand it more, especially in this world. But there's a lot of characters going on, and there's a lot of fate. There's like a prophecy that's happening, and so I'm interested to see how it goes about, because it really caught me, especially like halfway through the book, because again, the first book was so slow, but it really got me so engaged and like wanting to continue on with these characters. Like, I didn't want to put these books down, or well, excuse me, the first book, obviously. I did not want to put the first book down, and I'm so excited, obviously, because I went ahead and ordered the last 3 books of the series because I was so excited for them. And so I'm really excited to get on with the series. I'm excited to see where it goes, where it takes me. I mean, and these are chunky. They're a little chunky, but I see nothing but good things. They're highly rated on Goodreads, but again, I've had other friends who have read them that really like them, so I've got really, really high hopes for these. So really, really good things hopefully coming from these ones. Let's get into a few of my Book of the Month picks. Now, if you don't know what Book of the Month is, it is not where I'm not sponsored by Book of the Month whatsoever, but I have been really trying to branch out of like what I want to read, and I've really been stuck in this like fantasy rut, like not in like a bad way. Like, I just, like, for the last 6 months, that's all I've pretty much read is fantasy. A few sci-fi books like Dungeon Crawler here and there of what I've been reading, but I've really been on this like fantasy kick. And something, again, with it being my birthday, I wanted to try out Book of the Month Club. Now, I've been seeing them around for like years, right? Especially in like the booktube and like book talk communities. Like, I feel like you hear about it all the time, and I'm like, you know what, I'm interested to see what it's even about, what it is. And this year is their 100-year anniversary, and like in my mind, I'm like, if they've made it through all these different things, all this crazy world for the past 100 years, you got to tell me they're pretty good, right? And so I've gotten a few books for them. I've gotten 2 books so far, because I started like the end of March. Yeah, end of March, and then so I have also April books here, and I did get a few. Now, one book that I have already read, I originally got it just in a paperback from Target, but then I saw that Book of the Month had their own edition, because I really enjoyed this book, and so I went ahead and grabbed it. So this is Violet Fistaway is not a villain anymore, and it was such a cute story. So pretty much, Violet Fistaway obviously is our main character, and she was pretty much born and raised into like this evil Master Lord's brain or whatever. Like, she didn't have a choice, she just grew up with it. He ends up getting offed, and now she's kind of given the choice, well, either you can get offed or you can kind of be good. And so she's like, oh, well, I've never done that before, so that's what she kind of chooses. So she goes to this small town where nobody knows her name, and she goes and she opens up a little small flower shop, and she's just trying to be good, and it kind of follows her around. It's really cute. I enjoy the vibes. It's like assistant to the villain meets the spell shop, and it kind of follows her. There's a small love interest happening, but of course, being a small town, people talk. Lots of things are coming about. People want to get to know her, but of course, she doesn't want to reveal her secrets of like who she actually is. And of course, it being a small town, and now that like the evil overlord is gone, there's somebody else trying to take his place, and so she's kind of trying to combat that as well. And like old people from her old life as a villain are coming back into her life and kind of trying to like ruin what she's got going now. And so it's a really fun, it's a really cute storyline. I really enjoyed it, and it's something that I would read again and again and again. Again and again. Oh, can I say that enough? Again and again and again. It was really cute. I really enjoyed it. Like, I would read another book in this series. I really like the Bartleby. That sounds right. Bartleby is the plant. If you see, he's got the knife in his hand. Very villainous, very murderous for sure. It's a really fun vibed book, and I really, really enjoy it. And I'd read it again, but again, the cover is just so pretty. But anyway, really enjoyed this book. That's for one of the ones from Book of the Month. How to Write a Love Story. This is another Book of the Month book club. I think this was from April. I'm not 100%. Anyway, this follows like her dad, like the female main character's dad, I think died, but for some reason, like he was a writer and he had like 8 or 9 books or something, and he was trying to finish the last and final book of this huge book series, and like all the people like of this beloved book series are like, please finish it, please finish it. So his publisher ends up finding the female main character, which is the daughter of the writer, and it's just like, hey, you can do this, you can write this final book series, like let's wrap it up. So, and like the dad lived in like the middle of nowhere Ireland, I think, and so she literally goes up there, her and then like this publisher, and she kind of like abandons her whole life to try and figure out the rest of this book and to finish writing it for him. And pretty much, of course, the publisher is there for some reason to kind of help keep her along, figure out all like the plot points and kind of things like that, because I don't know that she's necessarily a writer or she knows like things like that, but of course love ensues obviously from the story. And I think that's kind of fun. I think it's interesting that she is going to be finishing her father's book series. I think that'd be really fun, and again, it just seems like a really cute, sweet love story. So I'm definitely going to be getting into this probably this next month or so. I felt this is more of like a summer vibe read, because of course romance, I tend to read a lot more romance in summer. Usually, again, on this fantasy kick, we shall see. But I think this is going to be a really fun book. I have seen other creators and some other people that I know really enjoying this book as well, so I've got really high hopes for this too. The next is Bloodbound. Now, this is the special edition from Book of the Month. It's got beautiful sprayed edges to it, and it just, like, the premise of this just sounds really, really cool. Let me show you it without the dust cover. So this one is about a girl. I know it's set in, like, dragon riders and stuff. Obviously, the outside is a little bit more basic, but I really love the inside of the cover. It's so cool. But this follows along 2 characters. One is, like, I believe she's a dragon rider. I'm pretty sure. Some type of dragon related something or other. She's a dragon rider. Things ensue, and oh, I didn't even realize this. Oh, it's got dual cover. I didn't even realize this. I even took the dust cover off. You can either do it dust jacket either way. Wow. I didn't know that. Wow, that makes me feel really dumb for not noticing that, because I definitely have taken this off a few times to show. This was funny enough. I'd gotten it, but I didn't realize it. But my sister-in-law is one of her most anticipated reads this year. So that intrigued me even more about this book, because again, I didn't really know a whole lot about it when I purchased it, but then she was telling me about it, and it sounds really fun. Anyway, you are following along, I believe, 2 main characters, and they're kind of from like odds of the end of the world, right? There's one dragon rider, one just hates the royals, and then I know there's a little bit of romance in it as well. And I think these 2 girls end up kind of like being friends, and they're kind of just trying to like topple the empire. I don't know if that's correct of what like my assumptions are, but I'm pretty sure from like what I've read, like the little insert about this book, it just said like you duel or you die. I think that's what this book is about. I've heard, again, really good things about this, especially my sister-in-law, this being her like most anticipated read of the year. But again, like I think because it's been out now, I think a couple weeks now, and a lot of people have like gone ahead and like read this because it's like this is the first book in the series, and I think it's going to be very, very big. I think this is going to be a really next tier top level fantasy, and so I'm interested to see how it develops and what my take is on this, but I'm really excited. Again, it's so pretty, and I didn't even realize the dress jacket was reversible. Oh well, that's me for you. Moving on. And the last one I have from Book of the Month is Red City. Now, I was definitely influenced to get this one, and it definitely has beautifully sprayed edges on it. Let's see if this one is reversible. No, okay, it's not reversible. But anyway, this is supposed to be, I think, really good. I think it's kind of got like, you know, like the dystopian series, The Uglies. I think it's kind of got this vibe. There is alchemy in this, and I believe it's like haves versus have-nots. I think it's 2 childhood friends that like obviously were like BFFs, but then like they're kind of course, one on the wrong side of the tracks, one is on the right side of the tracks, and one is just like from a very poor family, and I believe they are just trying to like get to like the next level and become like a city guard, or like have like a level income so they don't have to worry about being poor again. And the other is like the high level alchemist, right? And I believe there's some type of pill or some type of potion, whatever you want to call it, in alchemy that you take that like enhances their, not necessarily their beauty, but like all attributes of themselves. And again, so slightly about like the uglies aspect from like that book series. So I think it's really interesting. I've heard, or I have watched a few different videos about this one, about like other creators who have read this book, and I've heard really good things about it, but I'm intrigued. This one just seems really, really intriguing to me. Again, a little bit more of dystopian vibes, a little bit more alchemy vibes. I'm always done for alchemy. I think it's always fun. More like maybe dark academia vibes almost. We'll see. I'm not sure. I don't think it's necessarily in an academy setting, but I think it's got like those darker version vibes. So really excited about this one. Okay. Now, this book is one that I did purchase for myself for my birthday. I was really excited for this. I feel like for some reason it's like, I think it's been out for like a couple years now, maybe 2. But now all of a sudden it's becoming popular again, but like it's been on my TBR for a little while, but I decided to go ahead and grab that, is The Raven Scholar. First of all, check out the flop on this bad boy. Absolutely excited about this one. But this one follows an intricate world. I think like all of the people are like somehow attached to like certain animals in some way, I believe. But there's trials and tribulations like in like the overarching magistrate or like politics, whoever like runs pretty much the government, right? One of the main dudes dies. And so it's now kind of a race to figure out and like fight who ends up taking his seat in the magistrate and what ensues. So there's lots of trials and tribulations, but then in comes our main character, which I believe is the Raven Scholar, and she is the one to try and figure out who murdered this guy. And she's also, in some way, shape, or form, also fighting for the throne. And I think it's a really dynamic read. I've heard the pacing is really, really good. I think the magic system, from what I've heard, also sounds really, really interesting, like really, really well played out, but like not so intricate, like you don't know what's happening, right? Like, so that's really fun. And I'm really, really excited to get into this book soon. I think book 2 comes out this year. I might be wrong about that, maybe next year. But again, I'm really excited for this one. I think the magic system is intriguing and everything like that. Again, a little bit of a murder mystery going on, but of course, trials and tribulations are always my thing. So I'm really excited to get into this one. Now, this was a pre-order. I was super excited. I honestly kind of forgot about this one, but I'm so glad that it ended up coming up in the mail, and I remembered to change my address when I moved. But it is Starside by Alex Astaire. Now, I loved the Light Lark series by Alex Astaire. Now, I believe this is her first adult debut fantasy. I believe Light Lark is considered YA, if I recall, but this is her adult fantasy. And now I specifically got the Target version. The only really difference between Target and like the regular version is this like ring here was like silver, and like the dragons or whatever, that was all silver. I like the Target edition because I thought it popped out more with the red, but I'll show you the sprayed edges and everything as well. But this follows pretty much like haves and have-nots, right? So in this world, you're not like born with power, or like you have to take it if you want power, right? And I think that's, again, very, very interesting. It's not just something you're born with, it's something that you have to fight and ride or die with. And I really like that concept, but I think it follows along. I think like in the world of the haves, every like 50 years or so, they end up opening up a like trial or whatever, like game where you can go and like get your own power and like kind of steal it, and you get your own sword and things like that, and it opens it up to like the entire public, even including the have-nots. And so it follows our main character, who is a have-not, and then I think she kind of crosses into that threshold and she's trying to get a name for herself. I think she's trying to get a little bit of revenge as well in somewhere, shape, or form in there. And again, it just kind of ensues from there. I really love Alex Astaire's writing style. She is somebody that will shock your freaking socks off. Like, you will never know what's happening in this book series. Like, you think you know what's going on. Like, you think you do, but then like 20 pages after that, you're like, what the heck just happened? Like, you would know, like, it doesn't always give red flags, and I like that, right? Like, the way it's written, I love her writing style. Like, it always keeps you guessing, and I know this book is going to end on a cliffhanger, so I'm unsure how soon I'm going to get to this book, but I think it's going to be one of those more popular books for sure, because again, Alex Astaire, I love her writing style. I enjoyed Light Lark. I think especially as like an adult debut for her, I think it's gonna be really exciting. I think it's gonna be really dynamic. She always writes really interesting characters. Her plots are always like 6+ stars, because again, like the intrigue and the magic system is always really interesting, but then like just the character development and then the plot wise and like the surprises that she throws in there that you would never expected. I always expect really high things for Alex Astaire, and she always delivers, so I'm really excited about this. Our second to last kind of book in the series is the Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Now this is the book, or year 5. This is the illustrated version from, what's his name? Jim Kay with Neil Packer. Now I, of course, have the original back here, hardbacks of Harry Potter, but I really wanted the illustrated versions. I reread Harry Potter last year as an adult, and I loved it, right? And all of the illustrations in this book are superb. Now, not all of these books are out yet. I believe it is just... yeah, it's just books 1 through 5. So now that I found that out, I think there's 2 more coming. I believe Jim Kay is no longer going to be illustrating it. It's going to be a different person. I don't remember the name of them. But I really like these. There's nothing other than like them being a special edition, and then like they literally just have pictures and stuff in them. That's really the only difference between them. But I really liked them. In my mind, I'm like, well, if I ever have kids, like, I'd want to read this to them, but really it's just so I can read them. Let's be honest. Like, who cares about kids? Like, it's about me, right? Like, these are my books. Anyway, but these are some of my favorite books. Obviously, it's one of my favorite book series. I've got the rest of the books right here. They did fall, but I'm obviously going to rearrange my bookshelf at some point. But this is one of my favorite series, and I'm really excited. I love the artwork. I think it's really fun. It's really interesting. And it's something different in their special edition. I don't normally get a whole lot of special editions because I don't really care too much about like sprayed edges and stuff, as I have like a few sprayed edges on this TBR. Or not TBR, but this book haul. But I mean, it is what it is. But this is just something that for sure, like, I really wanted the special editions of with the illustrations. So I'm really excited to get into this. Now, the last and final series of this, I believe I have 23 different books of this series. So many books. It is the Black Dagger Brotherhood. Now, let me tell you, I think this is a very underrated series. I feel like I hear nobody ever talking about it, and it's freaking fantastic. Now, I've read the first 4 or 5 books of this series, and my mom so graciously gifted me the entirety of the series, because trying to find these books are so hard. Like, I have been looking for well over a year or 2 to find like the books that I'm looking for. And again, I'm trying to find some uniformity in the books too, but that wasn't happening. But my mom ended up getting me every single book this series, except for like the last 3 or 4, I believe. And it is a continuing series. So about this series, it is pretty much vampires in the modern world, and they are, of course, of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. It follows like a set of, I don't remember how many of the main dudes are. I think there's like 6 main dudes, and they're all vampires, and each of the book kind of follows them along in their own love story, but then they do get further books further along the series, like, about them again. But it really follows them along. It follows like the underworld of these vampires, and like I really like the interesting like bad guys in the series. I think they're pretty much like a religious crazy cult with like crazy extra almost vampiric abilities to a certain degree, and it's very interesting how it kind of goes along. But I really like the storyline, how they're like these big tough gangster looking dudes, and of course they're like hundreds of years old because they're vampires. And their twist on the world is also very interesting, and how they view the world as well. And then the vampire politics, because the vampires are almost to extinction in this world. And so it's kind of put them on these Black Dagger Brotherhood, like, of these guys to kind of save themselves and save the vampire race and continue on obviously through the rest of the world, right? And it's really interesting. I really love the love stories in this. And the world is just so interesting, because it is set in modern day world. But like the way the Brotherhood is brought together, and the way they are just scarred and defeated, and like how, especially like the love interests kind of bring life back into these brothers, and like how they form their own little world to then protect their vampires is also really fun. The fighting scenes are always really interesting, and this is a very dynamic read, and I love that, and I love these books. I'm super excited to get into these. Super excited. I'm so thankful that my mom ended up getting me all these. Like, I was shocked when she pulled out all these books. I'm sure you're watching the overview right now, but I am shocked by these book series. I Loved the Black Dagger Brotherhood. I'm excited to get into them more because I've been having such a hard time trying to read them. But that is it. That is my book haul. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have some... Honestly, let's be honest, I hope you added some of these to your next book haul reads and added these to your TBR. I've got a lot of really fun, good books in here that I'm excited to read. I have some fun Legos to build. I really hope you enjoyed the book haul. I enjoyed it immensely. I really had some fun time. I love talking about these books. I would love it if you'd like to subscribe. Let me know any of your newer book hauls that you've gotten, even if it's just a book or two. This is not normal for me. I do not normally get this amount of books in a short amount of time. I'm usually more of a library, Kindle Unlimited borrower, but every once in a while I do end up getting some like book hauls, especially it just being my birthday. So do not feel influenced that you have to go out and buy all these books by any means. That is not what this is for. It's just fun for me to talk about all these books that I just happen to get near around my birthday. But I hope you guys had a wonderful time, and I will see you guys on the next one. Happy reading!